Throughout the centuries, Tibet has produced some of the finest spiritual masters of Buddhism. We go now to Tibet to view the most recent activities of one of the greatest spiritual leaders in the world, His Holiness the Gyalwa Karmapa, who has voluntarily chosen to take birth back in his home country of Tibet once again, to promote the activity and growth of the Buddha Dharma and revive this ancient and profound tradition. Here at the Potala, the ancient seat and home of the Dalai Lama, is where the government of Old Tibet was run for centuries. This is Tsurphu Monastery today, which was constructed over 880 years ago, and has always been the main seat of all the Gyalwa Karmapas and the home of the practiced lineage of the Karma Kamsang in the Dowo Valley. The Karmapa himself once stated, "This monastery of Tsurphu in the Dowo Valley is without equal in this world of ours. For one who sees or visits or even thinks of it just once, the misdeeds and obscurations of eons will surely be dispelled." Tsurphu is at an altitude of 4,600 meters and is about a 2-hour drive from Tibet's capital city, Lhasa. It was completely destroyed in the Cultural Revolution, but has been almost completely rebuilt since 1984. His Holiness the 17th Karmapa Urgyen Chinli Dorje in his main residence at Tsurphu Monastery. His Holiness the Karmapa is giving blessings in a tent, where every year he spends some time in the summer months in the upper gardens at Tsurphu. He was born in eastern Tibet in June of 1985, amidst special auspicious signs and occurrences. His Holiness the Karmapa is the crown jewel of all advanced scholars and practitioners of Tibet. Buddha Shakyamuni foretold 2,000 years after he himself passed into nirvana, Buddhism would spread in the snowy country of Tibet, and all the people would become devoted to Avalokiteshvara, the embodiment of compassion. At this time, When the country was beginning to practice the teachings of Chenrezig, a bodhisattva would appear who would be as powerful as the lion's roar, and he would bear the name Karmapa. Because of his tremendous outstanding qualities, he has the capacity to benefit all living beings. The Buddha also said that the Karmapa would continue to incarnate throughout the time of 1,000 Buddhas yet to come, and predicted that the Buddha activity and emanations of His Holiness the Karmapa would be ceaseless. Beings who have the opportunity to meet him will be purified of their obscurations from 7 previous rebirths. Karmapa is considered the embodiment of Buddha activity and of the Mahamudra teachings. The Karmapas were the first incarnate lamas ever to be recognized as such in Tibet. The first Karmapa's name was Dusum Kempa, which literally means the knower of the 3 times. Since then, the Karmapas have been recognized by each one leaving a written letter with a close disciple before leaving his body. This letter would usually include the name of the parents, the direction of where the door would be facing, the physical descriptions of the environment, and other important details. Here the Karmapa is receiving many Taiwanese guests. 2 important sponsors and devotees are Dr. Chen and Miss Sun, who have volunteered upon the Karmapa's request to organize a project to construct a new paved cement road to Tsurphu Monastery from the main highway. His Holiness often spends time in the lower summer garden, where he is seen now giving blessings to the Huayu Foundation group from Taiwan. The foundation and its directors, Dr. Chen and Miss Sun, have been raising funds to start the construction of the new road and have been inviting groups from Taiwan to meet with the Karmapa. Karmapa's deer was offered to him by a devoted disciple from Kham. In previous times, the Karmapa's many animals were also kept in this place. The previous Karmapa spent most of his early life at Tsurphu. Here are scenes of the 16th Karmapa, Rangjung Rigpi Dorje in the United States, performing the famous Vajra crown or black hat ceremony. This sacred crown represents the invisible celestial crown that was woven from the hair of 13 million dakinis. This crown is always above the Karmapa's head. An identical replica of this celestial crown seen here was offered to the 5th Karmapa by the Chinese Emperor Yunglou. His Holiness the 16th Karmapa in New York, he is speaking about the origins of the Karju lineage.
Nisarga kaba kaba giyadu kone, naropa la kaba giyadu kone kaba
The present Karmapa has been receiving teachings of the lineage since he first arrived at Tsurphu in 1992. Here he is seen at his enthronement ceremony at Tsurphu on September 27, 1992. His Eminence Tai Situ Rinpoche performs the main traditional part of the 17th Karmapa's enthronement ceremony. On June 3, 1992, His Holiness the Dalai Lama gave his official recognition of the true reincarnation of the 17th Karmapa. He explains the basis for his recognition and his vision.
So what usually I do is I do not relying on just one or two tests. So I proceed my usual method regarding the choosing reincarnation. Then the indication is positive. So then I decided, okay, that's good. I got some kind of one dream. The location, the area where you see the present is the Karmapa is born. One valley is naturally the stones and the lawns looks high altitude, and then facing the south, and there's some stream, small, beautiful streams. And that is the main sort of the picture. There was someone there and told me, actually, without this form, there's someone, some source, telling to me, oh, this is the place where Karmapa is born.
This red book offered to the Karmapa at the time of his enthronement by the head representative of the Ministry of the Religious Affairs in Beijing is the official state seal of approval of the recognition and enthronement of the 17th Gyalwa Karmapa. This minister also gave his assurance of the government's intention of supporting religious freedom in China. Over 20,000 people from all parts of Tibet and the world came to witness this grand event and to receive the Karmapa's blessing. The Buddha Shakyamuni predicted that the lion-voiced Bodhisattva Karmapa would appear in this world and he would benefit many beings who could be liberated simply by hearing, seeing, or thinking of the Karmapa.
Da Tundene Sungde, Sisi Chengzhu Ningbo La, Chigi Patu, Lama La Gyapsu Cheng, Sangye La Gyapsu Cheng, Che La Gyapsu Cheng, Gindun La Gyapsu Cheng.
Karmapa will be the sixth Buddha of the age, Buddha Simha, the lion. Here we witness the Karmapa's first teaching to ever be filmed, as now the lion begins to roar the profound truth of the Buddhist Dharma teachings to the world. Today you have all come from far away, and I am very grateful that you have come to Tsurphu. Thank you. So as you wished, I have given you the transmission of the Chenrezi Sadhana and the refuge. With a pure intention, you wish to construct the road to Tsurphu Monastery. By doing so, you accumulate merits in all your lives and a pure field of the qualities of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. In your previous lives, you have accumulated good karma and have prayed effectively. It is important that you develop compassion, loving kindness, and bodhicitta for all sentient beings. To become a Buddhist, one should know to first take refuge in the three jewels. And from then on, one should take refuge in the Buddha and no longer seek refuge in worldly deities. Once you have taken refuge in the Dharma, you should not harm sentient beings. As it is taught in the Bodhisattva Arvacharya, one should practice the 6 paramitas. Through the 6 paramitas, one should reach the 10 bhumis. However, it is extremely difficult to achieve the level of the 10th bhumi, because in order to reach the first bhumi called great happiness, one must realize emptiness. We accumulate very positive karma, but if we accumulate very negative karma also, the two being of equal force neutralize each other, thus it prevents us from realizing emptiness. So at the beginning, when we learn the Buddha Dharma, it is very important to practice compassion for sentient beings. Just as Tibetan people make butter by churning the milk, after churning the milk of the holy Dharma, one extracts the quintessence of Dharma as the butter. Just as we feel happy when we are in good health and have no disease, in the same way it is important to develop compassion for sentient beings and to eliminate their sufferings. So the refuge in the Sangha is like having a friend who leads us on the path of positive behavior, avoiding the path of negative behavior.
주광 담나리 투세되다 보지 가서 주방계 밑에
It is like when we want to cross a river. The Buddha represents the other side, which one wants to reach. The Dharma is the boat, and the Sangha is a sailor. One can reach enlightenment thanks to the three jewels. Whether in Tibet, the land of the snows, or anywhere in the world, all sentient beings who want to follow the path of Buddhism should first take refuge. There is no other way except the refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Even if someone would spread this idea on the radio that he is a Buddhist without knowing refuge, he would not be considered a Buddhist. Having understood the sacredness of the three jewels and a bodhicitta, one should put them into practice. Just like if one has a beautiful car, it is useless to leave it in the parking lot and not drive it. Finally, I wish you and your family good health. I also wish that in your home country you won't even hear the words of disease, wars, or famine. Other activities of the Karmapa include the performance of the annual Lama dances, in which he often participates as seen here. It is a rare blessing to be able to watch these special dances that invoke the energy of blessing and protection. An elaborate ceremony is performed beforehand, and precise meditation visualizations are completed before the actual dances are performed and the general public is invited to watch. Karmapa often comes out on his roof balcony to relax from the intense schedule that often consists of studying, praying, greeting people, and imparting daily blessings to often hundreds of people that visit Tsurphu Monastery daily. Long, long ago, during the time of the second Buddha, Daeong Ke Gyalpo, there was a powerful king who had a younger son, whose name was Prince Chugilodro. This prince went to the top of a mountain and meditated there for 100 million years. Having meditated there for so long, the Dakinis were extremely inspired by him, and they gathered around, and as a gesture of inspiration and respect, each of the 13 million Dakinis offered a strand of their hair and wove the sacred black Vajra crown with them. In another sutra of the Buddha, it is said that in 100 million realms, 100 million Karmapas will incarnate. It is said that in our world, there is only one Karmapa at a time, and he is self-recognized.
Oh!
The Karmapa studies, recites prayers, and often receives Dharma teachings daily. He also meets periodically with his various teachers and other monks to recite and memorize texts, and sometimes is involved in debating sessions. Debating the philosophical views of the Buddhist teachings has been a tradition passed down for centuries in the Kharju tradition, as well as in the other schools of Tibetan Buddhism. Here we see the Karmapa himself debating, which is quite a rare sight. In the words of the Dalai Lama, wit is an important part of the debates, and high merits are earned by turning your opponent's assumptions to your own humorous advantage, making it a popular form of entertainment for the participants as well as the viewers. The debates keep the mind sharp, clear, and very awake, and often turn out to be quite lively. Karmapa has given many empowerments or wongs during his years at Tsurphu Monastery. Here we witness some scenes from the various empowerments he has given. Karmapa often gives empowerments such as Guru Rinpoche, Chenrezi, Green and White Tara, Amitayas, Medicine Buddha, and others. Here are Karmapa's parents, who often visit as they now have a home in Lhasa, as well as their original home in eastern Tibet, which is near the Karmapa's birthplace. Often when large multitudes of people come for a particular event, such as the annual Lama dances or the annual unfoldment of the great Tsurphu thangka, Karmapa will give public empowerments while he is seated on the top floor of the monastery. On some of these special holy days, he has imparted his blessings to over 10,000 people in one day. The 17th Karmapa recently taught, compassion for all sentient beings is the wish to liberate them from all the kinds of problems and sufferings in the ocean of samsara. All these beings have been my mothers, and all have loved me and cared for me as my mother, and I myself personally would like to help them to become liberated from all their sufferings. That is compassion.
Here at Pulahari Monastery in Nepal is His Eminence the 4th Jamgon Khantrul Rinpoche. Seen here with him is the Venerable 4th Dolpo Shelri Rinpoche, also recently recognized by the 17th Karmapa. On November 17, 1997, when he came to Nepal, more than 1,000 monks and nuns formed a procession to welcome him home to his monastery in Pulahari, Nepal, where he is now residing. Beautiful rainbows appeared all through the day of his arrival, and often appeared wherever he traveled. The Karmapa wrote a precise, detailed letter describing where to find His Eminence the 4th Jamgon Khantrul, and he talked to the General Secretary, Tenzin Dorje of the Jamgon Khantrul Labrang, and the rest of the search party when they were at Tsurphu. Karmapa said that during the past year, before Jamgon Rinpoche was found, he had frequently seen in visions rainbows above the mountain in front of Tsurphu Monastery. Within the rainbow he could see the 3rd Jamgon Rinpoche, luminous with lights dissolving into each other from behind the mountain. This vision has often appeared in his dreams. Also, he has had visions of the Tibetan alphabet, indicating the names of the parents. On August 4th, 1996, after much searching according to the instructions of the Karmapa's letter, the new 4th Jamgon Rinpoche was found in Chushu, central Tibet, on August 12th. Karmapa bestowed a letter of recognition, and on August 25th of the same year, Karmapa wrote a proclamation letter, of which some of the excerpts are related here. In this world, the sole source of happiness and benefit is the precious teachings of the perfect Buddha. That these teachings remain, flourish, and spread depends solely upon those who are capable of upholding them. In the lands of India and Tibet, many great beings holding high the incomparable blazing white parasol of the doctrine have come. The 3rd Jamgon Khantrul, Lodro Chukyi Sengye, has come again, this great friend of the teacher's doctrine and of all beings, even those who do not know him. He was born to the south of the glorious Karmapa's seat of Tsurphu, in Chushu district amidst villages, the circumstances of his birth being in accord with my description. I sing his praises and empower him to sit on the towering throne of Dharma. All beings should examine the legacy of his predecessors, respect him, and pay him homage. Even though he has not reached adulthood, all should hold this supreme Tulku in only the highest way. On September 1st, Jamgon Rinpoche visited the Karmapa at Tsurphu, and on the 2nd of September, the auspicious day of Labup Dupchen, Karmapa performed the hair-cutting ceremony and gave him his new name, Jamgon Lodro Chukyi Nyima. The following year, Karmapa granted him the oral transmission of mantras, sadhanas, and prayers, including the transmission of writing, and clothed him with the monastic robes which he wore for the first time. Here is the Venerable Drupal Khenpo Lodru Namgyal, who is a personal tutor to His Eminence. Here Tenzin Dorje, the General Secretary to His Eminence Jamgon Khantel Rinpoche, tells us a little about the events surrounding the discovery of the new Jamgon Rinpoche.
What His Holiness said, it's south of Tsurphu Monastery. He always he told me he have a vision, he have vision of rainbow with, he see that Jamgon Rinpoche. And dissolved together, and then he said it went back to south part of Tsurphu, and that's why he said his incarnation is same place where we went first time. He told us to go there, and even by first day when His Holiness gave me a letter, that time also I went to see him. He said, there are very good auspicious signs today. When I give you a letter, then I say, what kind of auspicious sign? He said, when I give you a letter, there will be one big thunder, only one thunder, and sunshine with the raining. And then His Holiness has seen today also there are one rainbow in south part of the mountain.
Another important Tulku of the Karma Kagyu tradition is the 11th Pao Rinpoche, who was the first Tulku to be recognized by the 17th Karmapa. In August 1998, Pao Rinpoche was on a walk with the monks of his monastery on the slopes of the mountain close to the monastery of Pao Nenang. The young Pao Rinpoche suddenly told his monks to dig in this particular spot. Because of his age, 4 years old at the time, the monks questioned him, wondering if this was really necessary and important, as the Tibetan soil is very rocky and any form of digging in Tibet is very difficult. Rinpoche insisted that the digging commence. Thus 10 monks proceeded to dig for quite some time the first day, and after the third day, at almost 1.5 meters, some very special items were discovered. These items were treasures buried by a previous incarnation of Pao Rinpoche. These included a gold coin, a piece of silver, a piece of red coral, an agate stone, a white conch shell, and 2 other special stones. On the first day of digging, Pao Rinpoche told the lamas that they would find these stones. Several of his previous incarnations were great Tertons of the Nyingmapa tradition. He is one of the Gyalwa Yapse Dun, or the 7 heart sons in the Karmapa Karma Kamsang lineage. The previous Palden Pao Rinpoche is an emanation of the Buddha Amitabha. The Venerable Bokar Rinpoche, who tells us about Pao Rinpoche's discovery.
Tene tate jidang ge da goba da junze mangbo yujire ne ta chi tende sama zhe xu jin ba de ta ngara samje chana zo ra wo de karin sana ta ji ngara zo nangbe ge lo la gyawang an che ta gyawang ama da chima babar de tene je lama tribi gu yang se senge de ko khoma ne o ma la ya karsa gyawa hibe ge lo ju yore tene ti lo ju de tene mona thane ge che demba yembe ge da ngotu tene karsa tene tare parum che ge ter jeba de paul sola jazuka la ter de shabate tare tene ter jeba inis korang ge tare takana sitne sumudu te indu tene tate paul tada parum che yasen moche te tene paul konjerum jenge tene gombe ge mone jede imbada tene je parum che rang kui yansi tene pe trume tugi ngo de da kui jena ya tene tugi ngo de tene korang terara imbe ge da nganzo kasa nganzo mongbada 요 이제 대왕암제다 내 제 가서 드늘 태dom다 로다 용견 쏠라 이 세백이 체도 되는 대기 체도 된 다리 때디에 되는 때 예배 값서 되는 대 지금 먼저 전부 주던데 코나서 갸드다 상말 가서 숨기도 되이나 땅에 삼나 되는 개체교된 알아서 등산금 메sol라 태dom다 지금 남도 망고 요래 전조 서비스 체도 되는 바울무스 코난게 꾸이께와 되는 출매인 바다 되는 안도 남바 산지베 추지로라 깨왕 아마도 참아생게데 되는 뭐네 담바인 바 되는 때 깨왕 같이 생게데 여백이 윤세 뭐르 어다 되는지 배제 명게 삼아도 다인 때 마인백이 저당 그제 고바다 윤세 선소 망부 유지래데 다때 매 사버전
Here, Drupal Sewang Rinpoche tells us more about the discovery of the treasure, as well as some stories about the first meeting Paul Rinpoche had with the Karmapa. Here he shows us the two special stones and a conch shell. One stone is connected to Guru Rinpoche and one to the Shakyamuni Buddha. One of the stones is in the shape of a bird. Paul Rinpoche wrapped the rest of the treasures in a red cloth and then put a white scarf around the cloth and offered it to the protector of his lineage, Mahakala Bernat Chen. He said the protectors would not be pleased to expose it now, so he placed them inside a locked glass case in the protector's shrine room. In the 8th month of the Tibetan Wood Pig year, 1995, the young reincarnation, together with Sewang Rinpoche and Nenang's monastery's administration, were granted the first audience at Tsurphu Monastery with His Holiness Karmapa. On the way there, when Paul Rinpoche first saw the monastery, he suddenly got up from the seat of his vehicle and said loudly, "May Karmapa know." At that time, the young incarnation was only just over a year old. It was a great surprise for everyone with him. They reached the lower summer garden palace at Tsurphu, where the first reception was held. After they arrived at Tsurphu Monastery, he was seated on his historical throne. At that moment, he got up from the throne and said so loudly that everyone present there heard him, "May Karmapa know." This was the previous 7th Dapsang Rinpoche, Ngeden Chugi Nima. In 1992, at the age of 63, he passed away in Hong Kong. Here is the new 8th Dapsang Rinpoche, at the age of 15 months old, at his hair-cutting ceremony at Tsurphu on August 7, 1997. For centuries, the incarnations of the Dapsan Tulkus have been recognized as the emanations of Gampopa by the Gyalwa Karmapa, Situ Rinpoche, and Chugyur Lingpa. The previous incarnation of the Venerable Dapsang Rinpoche was a close disciple of the previous 16th Gyalwa Karmapa, who wrote a long life prayer for Dapsang Rinpoche, which is as follows. You who guide the chariot of the teachings of the glorious Karmapa, heart of the practiced lineage, you who are the miraculous Vajra dance of Gampopa, intentionally appearing as a perfect Nirmanakaya, may your life be long. Now Karmapa performs the hair-cutting ritual where the little incarnate Tulku becomes a monk. The tenchuk is being offered to the Karmapa. This ceremony represents the offering of the body, speech, and mind of the Buddha. Many Karju monasteries are joining in the offering ceremony. A long life initiation will be performed later in the day. The new Dapsang Rinpoche and Drupal Rinpoche are returning to their main seat of Dilyak Gumpa in Kham. Dilyak Drupal Rinpoche tells us a little bit about the new Dapsang Rinpoche.
Kunjung Demba Kamangi Dindru Churima, Choga Yansi, Tokola Ya, the Dushina, Tene Kamaba Kunjung Chudimba Choge, Daina, Daina ne, Payula Yoga Tiagomba Tang, Tene Pula Yoga Tiagomba, Tiagomba, Shijin Tiagomba, Tumonga Tone, Tene Yansi, Zejushu, Tene Zejushu, Shmine, Kamabe Daina, Shusonga Tone. 네 양식 만으로 맞추바 시제니는 요데 디아고바 제가 난 신게 네 답사람 듣고 공말이야 대비 요데 네 롱방 세점에만 참아 이지 캐트되게 네 양식 만으로 맞추바지 맞을 나와야 토바지 네 토브세네 네 양식을 붙여 변다 시베 진로 변다 시베게 제가 숨을 총하래 네 까마바 양식에 따이데 변다 주베게 세변은 남비 네 고통하당 네 따이나니 그 바다리야 나와 찍지도 어디 바다면 되게 양심 첨부 중 네 총네 로직이 게야 바다 주변에 제가 실이야 주로야 자니 그러니까 말이야 양심이 되니 보다 쪽이 들어가당 되는 남사 선수 쉬네 네 단다 디아 건발이가 네 고수 대배고 돈 쉬우신 말이야
This is Dilyak Gumpa, the original seat and home of both the Venerable Dapsang Rinpoche and Dilyak Drupal Rinpoche. In 1990, the previous Dapsang Rinpoche traveled from Nepal back to Dilyak Gumpa, his original monastery in Kham. carrying with him many holy objects such as statues, ritual musical instruments, thangkas, silk brocade, and other items. Before leaving the monastery to return to Nepal, he told the monks there, "When I return again, I will come from Hong Kong and won't be carrying anything." He lived up to this prediction by making his next appearance at his monastery as a small child. Not only was he not carrying anything, but this time he himself was being carried. Here the sacred black hat Lama dances are being performed for this special occasion. 6 monks from Dilyak Gumpa searched for over 2 months, finding over 300 babies born in the mouse year. A list of the names of all the possible candidates was brought back to the Karmapa. He said to search again, but this time in 3 groups of 2 people each. There was some confusion, as it turned out that the names of the true Tulkus' parents were not in the government lists, as they had just arrived in that area. During the second search, he was finally found, and the Karmapa immediately knew he was the right one, according to the letter he had written. The circumstances surrounding the baby's birth were exactly in accordance with his prediction letter. The new Tulku was only 10 months old when the first picture was taken at his birthplace in Kham. He was born on the 3rd day of Sagadawa in 1996 in Zatushin, eastern Tibet. The family are poor nomads, and the Tulku is the 7th son in the family of 6 older brothers. With accompaniment of friends and lay people from Zatushin, the entourage arrived at Rinpoche's Dilyak Monastery in Kham, which presently has over 200 monks. Upon their arrival, everyone heard the celestial sounds of Tibetan ritual music that greeted them everywhere. This was quite astonishing because in fact no actual musicians were playing any instruments.
Here is the new 4th Dopo Shalri Rinpoche, who was recognized by His Holiness Karmapa in 1998. He is the first Tulku to be recognized by the Karmapa outside of Tibet. The previous 3rd Dopo Shalri Rinpoche spent most of his life in meditation retreat at his She Gompa, high in the mountains of Dolpo on the Tibet-Nepal border. Before he died, due to his intense devotion to the previous Jamgon Khantrul, he offered his entire monastery to him. Tenzin Dorje tells us more about this new Tulku, who will be living at Pulahari with Jamgon Khantrul.
Tolpo Shilri Rinpoche's incarnation, and then now he recognized Shilri Rinpoche. Recently we brought him here from Tolpo. Karmapa recognized him. Karmapa gave us a recognition for Shilri Rinpoche in end of 1996. And we sent our 2 monks from here, like Choki Gyaltsen and Sonam Chapel. They went to Tolpo last year, 1998. We sent that photo to show to Karmapa, and Karmapa decided, yeah, this is his reincarnation. He says so and so, father and mother, son, it's Tolpo Shri Tulku. Why I have a responsibility of taking care of this Tulku's incarnation? Previous Shri Rinpoche was born in Manam. I think he passed away in end of 1990. But previous Shri Rinpoche is disciple of 2nd Jamgon Kongtrul. Palden Chenze was his disciple. That's why he also feel very close connection with the Jamgon Kongtrul. And Shri Rinpoche offered his monastery and all property what he belonged in Tolpo. He asked Jamgon Rinpoche to take care. That's why just before he passed away, he requested Rinpoche, and we take care after he passed away, his cremation and everything And also I built a small stupa here in Rinpoche. I think you will see it in our golden stupa temple. Now we found him, and in the future he can be good friend of Rinpoche. He can help for his activity, and then also for Buddha Dharma and Kamakaju's lineage, and plus he can help as much as for Rinpoche. That's my wish.
Each year on the 12th day of the Tibetan 4th month, Tsurphu Monastery holds its thangka ceremony. This has been a tradition passed down through centuries. Here it is being seen, carried up the slopes for display. This new thangka was recently designed and constructed by an American couple, Terrace and Leslie Temple, with the help of a Lhasa tent factory. Although this couple has been making thangkas for many years, this is their first applique thangka. It is over 10 stories high and weighs more than 1 ton. After raising funds, buying the silk, having some of it dyed in the right colors, and designing, the whole process took over a year and a half to complete. After completion of this thangka, they made a second impressive 3-story high Mahakala thangka at the Karmapa's request that is also unfolded annually just before Tibetan Losar. The Karmapa has now requested them to make 2 more large thangkas when enough funds are raised. On the way to Lhasa from Tsurphu Monastery is the area of Tulung Dechen Sheng. Here we witnessed the annual horse racing festival. The horse racing festivals are traditional all over Tibet in the summer months. This is an enjoyable break from the generally difficult country life of most of the people. Generally, the riders have had lots of experience and practice and have perfected their skills. They often perform amazing feats while riding a horse at a full gallop. But occasionally, as seen with this rider, not everyone can hang on so well, and they end up biting the dust. We need companions with whom to tread our path. If we want to cross the river, we need a boatman. The boat would not move on its own. If we rely on wrong companions or friends, we can be led astray. So we want to find the right companions and travel together on the right path. That is the Supreme Sangha. His Holiness the 17th Gyalwa Karmapa wrote a poem paying homage to all the wondrous lamas of the snowland of Tibet. It reads as follows: "Shining like the glowing red clouds at sunrise, your Dharma robes adorn the grace and beauty of your presence. Excelling even the majestic snowy peaks, I pay deep homage to you who heals the suffering of mind and deeds through the essence medicine which is the nectar of your amazing skillful means."